Hey everyone, Dr. Shook here. Hope you're doing well today. In today's video, we're going to talk about a really important topic, and this is continuing our mini-series on intestinal permeability or leaky gut and how that directly ties to and is a key factor in almost every autoimmune disease like rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, Hashimoto's, multiple sclerosis, inflammatory bowel conditions. You name the autoimmune condition, this is almost always part of that puzzle or part of the factors that drive the autoimmunity. So one of the things that I really wanted to talk about was it's not the idea of intestinal permeability is that you have things inside the gut that can move through the intestinal wall or lining into the bloodstream. And these are larger molecules that should not be in the blood. This drives an inflammatory response that can promote systemic inflammation and autoimmune disease. Now, there are three different levels of this barrier breakdown or intestinal permeability or hyperpermeability or leaky gut. These three different levels, it's important to understand that if you have a permeable, hyperpermeable, or leaky gut condition, it's not the same for everyone. So first of all, level one is where the cells that line the intestinal tract, so they're joined, they point inward, they have finger-like projections that point into the intestinal, inside the intestinal tube, and they point inward like this. Now they join together, and where they join together, in between the cells, those are called the tight junctions, where they join together. There are proteins called occludin that hold these together. Okay, when you have an infection, when you have a temporary inflammatory response that's transient inside the gut, it can cause the release of zonulin. Now, zonulin causes these doors, these spaces between the cells to open, letting things inside the gut pass into the blood. That is something that typically repairs on its own, that happens transiently. Okay, that's one type of leaky gut. The second type is where you have a chronic inflammatory response inside the intestinal tract that causes these junctions to stay open longer term. Now, this sets the stage for this persistent leaking or movement of bacterial fragments in the gut, partially digested food proteins, other things in the intestinal tract moving into the bloodstream. This can promote systemic inflammation, and this takes longer to heal, but usually if you remove the triggers, you can heal it. Now, the third and most severe form is actually due to inflammatory bowel diseases like celiac disease, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, where the cells and these junctions get destroyed, or the cells themselves can be destroyed, and everything passes through into the bloodstream much more rapidly. This requires a much more intensive approach and is the most severe form of intestinal permeability. If you're dealing with autoimmunity and you want help, check the link in my bio.